What up, y'all? Back with another video today. I kind of wanted to go over some different tactics that the narcissist will manipulate you in, 5 or 6 of them that you want to be aware of, just so you know when you see them, you'll heed the call and you'll walk away because you'll know what you're dealing with. Okay, so the first one is going to be guilt tripping. A lot of times you'll find this, and especially in your parents and your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever you're with. I'm talking to a female. A lot of times if they want you to go somewhere or do something with them, a lot of times you'll get the guilt trip, or you do this if you love me. To maybe guilt trip you into cleaning the house because they don't like to do anything because they're princesses or queens, and you're their in-house bellhop slave, I guess. I don't know. And so this is something that you'll encounter a lot, but a lot of times they don't, especially the covert ones, they don't, unless they got some other ulterior agenda, they don't like to go to something by themselves because they kind of support, because they don't have very good communication skills. And so, in the case of mine, she was very much a introvert to some degree. And so that's, that's just one of the things that'll come up when you're dealing with a narcissist, is a lot of guilt tripping. The second one will be the silent treatment. We've all dealt with the silent treatment. The silent treatment is, the thing about the silent treatment is, it's not like you're just getting silent treatment, but it's it is just, you're just getting silent treatment. It's they don't ever discuss the issues at hand. And you can't just silent treat somebody. That's where it becomes a manipulative abuse. It's not you refuse to bend with me or to meet me in the middle. You refuse to understand where I'm coming from. There is no understanding. It's always, in the situation with the narcissist, it's their way or the highway. It's a one-way street, and you better, get on that going the right way, or, you're going to get the silent treatment. And this is what makes it very hard to have a relationship with a narcissist, because you can't ever discuss anything. And when you do discuss things, a lot of times, and another one they'll give you is a whole lot of random information while you're trying to get to a pinpoint answer on a situation. And so and then it turns into a word salad, basically, and then it becomes projected upon you. This is kind of how it works. If you're doing this all in the same conversation, and you're kind of become relentless, because what happens is you can't continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. And a lot of times these situations come up over and over and over again because they roll in a circle, because because they're guilty. That's why. So, and they don't want to straighten out the issues that are at hand. There's usually some undermining going on, or they're cheating on you, manipulating you, and so, don't get, I hear that a lot about, people feel guilty when they go, no contact is like silent treatment. That has nothing to do with it. It's totally different. You're going no contact because you're with a toxic individual that's been abusing you behind closed doors mainly. Okay? And if you can't get past that one, then, then you need a lot of help, because that's just something that, you should see that right away. And so, but with this is, what they're doing to you is they're abusing you by this. I mean, this is kind of to get you in line. This is a power struggle, a control struggle situation. And so, you have to, you have to say your piece, man, and move on when this type of stuff happens. What you need to do is, if they silent treatment you, then what you need to do is you double down on that. I mean, you walk away and silent treatment them. You go no contact, though. That's doubling down, and that's it. But then they'll need you for life. The next one's playing the victim. So the narcissist, they love to play the victim. When it comes down to, you know, a lot of situations where you're, I guess, questioning them about stuff that just doesn't make sense. They will play the victim, and it's just a way for them to get you to get into your empathy, and for you to you know, kind of get all caught up in your emotions. This becomes a reactive abuse situation when you get into playing the victim, because when you play the victim, a lot of times they're not the victim, and you care about the individual at the time this is happening, and you're trying to explain yourself now, and then it gets all flipped upside down. And when you care for somebody and they don't care about you, then they can be calm. But we were taught to be reactionary, and they know how to trigger those. And that's why it's great when you learn to respond and not react, because that takes all the fuel out of the flame, so to speak. And at some point shortly thereafter, they're going to have to find another source of supply, whether they're with you or not, because you are feeding that flame. And when you become, you know, where you respond and you don't react anymore, then, you know, that flame gets put out, man. And so they have to, I mean, they'll do other tactics, and they'll still continue to work on getting you to be reactionary. But I mean, there's other things they do, but they'll switch it up on you. But they're gonna, if you, once you become you don't give them reaction anymore, because that's their favorite, you know, it's the easiest one too, because they can project everything onto you through that when you open your walls up. And you want to stick close to your frame, right? Close, don't open up for them. Next one's triangulation. Triangulation, you know, is just them, you know, you might hear from somebody else some rumor that you did something, or that you started something, or you accuse somebody else of something, and then that individual may come to you, and, you know, unbeknownst to you, neither one of you have done anything a lot of times, but the narcissist has caused this whole problem, and they're the one like sitting back and getting supply off both of you. And a lot of times the covert narcissist will use this in their love relationships. I mean, my God, I don't know how many times my ex covert narcissist did this, you know, or at least tried this. It didn't really work too much. I mean, it worked a little bit, and it was more frustrating than anything, but it did work in the beginning. But I also knew, I think like on this last one, I had been dealing with so many of them that I kind of understood a little bit more about this construct. But at the end of the day, she was still cheating. So triangulation did cause, like, you know, problems and jealousy and stuff. And I'm not a jealous person, or am I controlling? But this is what it causes. A lot of issues where they'll be like, oh, I mean, she would tell me like, this guy at work would cook me this meal, and he'd bring these meals to work for me like every, like, you know, 2 times a week or something. And I'm like, look, man, you can't have nobody cooking, you know, no man cooking, you know, hot meals and bringing them to work for you. I mean, are you an idiot? That's what I'm thinking. You know, I didn't say that, but I'm like, you know, this is ridiculous, man. And so she's triangulating me there. Or she'll be like, that guy and another guy asked me to go out with them to meet them at a show or something. And to me, listen, it's one thing if you're a person that can be trusted, but this individual's cheating on you already, and then they're putting it out there like they're gonna go out with, you know, these guys, man. And it's like, and, you know, they have a history of cheating. So it's like, and then her ex, you know, they'll always triangulate their exes onto you. You know, in the beginning, it's like they hated their ex. They didn't give a damn about them. They were abusing them, whatever. Then the next thing you know is it's like their ex was really good, you know, later on when after you're in devalue phase, and you're like, kind of like, what the hell, man? And then that's kind of like gasses you up a little, because you're kind of like, you know, just all the stories you heard and just the way they manipulate you. It's like, you know, then it could be anything, though. It could even be a family member. It doesn't even have to be like the opposite sex. It could just be situations. But you know, okay, so then triangulation is huge. But it pits two people against each other while the narcissist sits back and they cause the whole thing, and they act like they have nothing to do with it. But you know, a lot of times it's two sources of supply, like an old source of supply and the current. And they may not even know it, because they're, I mean, they'll know it too, probably, because they're dating both of you. Then there's you know, gaslighting, which happens slowly over time. And what gaslighting it does is it kind of breaks you down to where, you know, you start out an independent individual. Before this relationship's all over, they have broke you down so bad that, you know, you need their help just to go to the damn mailbox. You know, you become so dependent on them. But they continually, you know, gaslight you in regards to what you saw or heard happening in a situation. They'll be telling you that didn't happen at all, or, you know, or this happened and you're remembering it incorrectly or something. And as good as your mind can be, or what you remember can be, a lot of times they've done, this is like such a, it's kind of like a malignant type thing. I mean, it just kind of happens. It's pathological, but it chips away at you, and you're already fogged up from the narcissist doing all the 22 different, you know, other manipulations that they're doing in your life, like the cheating, the lying, the, you know, you know, you're the one doing all the work everywhere, you know, outside of their job. And then you gotta, you know, rub them and pet them and tell them how great they are, you know, and that's what they want. And then if you don't give them that, or even if they have that, that's not enough. See, now they have to get the negative energy too. So then, and then they also have to project. So, you know, a lot of times they'll get you to react. And when you react, then they'll project all of their, you know, energy on you, because you're opening up, and they'll flip energies with you. And sometimes, you know, especially at the end of a relationship or a cycle or a relationship, or a situation shit, they will, a lot of times they will project onto you at the very end, because a lot of times, in the case of mine, it was a cheating situation. But typically it is a cheating situation, because all narcissists cheat, and they have so many partners, man. It's ridiculous. And so that's why you want to break the trauma bond. But, you know, after this is all over, you know, they're also going to do different things. I mean, they're very messy individuals. They're messy individuals. They're sadistic, and they're very petty. So anytime you come across those types of signs, and very superficial, whenever you come across those signs as well, you want to, you know, kind of, you know, pump the brakes a little. And if you take things slow, you will a lot of times be able to read the signs, because a lot of times when a narcissist is looking for new supply, and they're out for working on that new primary supply, they're going to have to take some time, but they're going to try to do it real quick, because they can't keep it together that long. So they got to get you addicted and trapped and isolated, and then they can start flinging their shit. And they you know, they always have people in the background too. But a lot of times you'll see them start to, you know, they're going to hover, which is where they just kind of walk by or something, or see you, or, you know, just check on you. But then, that will increasingly get to more of a hoover, which is, or a stalk. And the stalking will be, you know, them, you know, showing up at your workplace, or, you know, coming by your house or something. Or if they can text you, they'll text you, say hello. If they can see you, that's the best, because if they can see you, what they really like is to see on your social media, or to see you in person, that you're doing very badly, or that you're heartbroken. Or if you keep texting them and begging them, you know, or, you know, trying to get them back. I mean, so that's where they get a lot of supply, and they expect that kind of supply from you. So, a lot of times they're not just stalking you for, they're not just stalking you to see if that your energy is back to where it should be, and maybe they can come in and hoover you again. But to find an angle, they do try to find an angle based on your mannerisms. Some people say they could see your aura, you know, in the spirit realm, you know, those things inside of them, which I don't doubt that a bit. But they can usually tell how damaged you are just by one look, if they're in your physical presence. But they like all kind of reactions out of you. I mean, they'll take anything. They'll take hate from you. They'll take love from you. They'll take, crying. They'll take, pity. They'll take anything. If you hate them, you love them, any kind of reactionary, type of emotions, they will, that gives them supply. And if they see you and you're not doing well, they don't even need to do much more. As long as you're beat down and broke down and you're not doing as well as they are, they may just keep it moving. When they do want to come back is when you pay them no attention. And the thing that gets narcissists is when you don't react, you respond real calmly. And if, for instance, they wanted to discard you and, you know, they present it, you've already done it several times, but this particular time, if you just kind of accept it, you kind of keep it moving. And instead of reacting, you just kind of respond real gentle, and you kind of just accept it, and then go no contact. When you do that, and they have a new source of supply, that new source of supply is going to get destroyed, because they're expecting to get that secondary type supply off of you, from the reactions that you give, the emotions that you give, all of the different times you'd be thirsty and you'd be hitting them up, you know, ask them if you could do anything, or, you know, whatever, or how you could work on it with them, whatever. You know, there's 1,000 things you could say or do that would be wrong in a situation like this. In this situation, you want to just accept the fact that it's over. If you're dealing with a narcissist and you know you got to go, and you got to just, you know, get through the trauma bond, it takes 6 months and you'll feel much better. But the thing is when you give them no supply, meaning not anger, not hate, not jealousy, not love, not even a stare, you know, anything. You act as indifferent. You know, a lot of times indifference is what they always give you, right? And it feels horrible. Like whenever you would want a reaction, an emotional reaction from them, that would be a good reaction, or even a bad even a upset reaction. You get nothing, is the worst. I mean, it just makes you feel so insignificant. So when you play, not that you play it, but when you embody, indifference towards them, you know, because they're going to, you know, especially if they don't get any supply off you, they're not going to know what to do. They're going to come at you, trying to get that supply from you and trying to figure out why before you used to give it to them. And now you're like, why are you smartening up? Or, you know, what's going on? Because, you know, the narcissist can't change. They're defunct for life. And you know, they got these negative energy entities inside of them controlling them, and you can't even get them delivered. If you research that, you'll find they're like permanent possession or something. And so they continue to go around in a circle, doing the same old thing. You know, it's like getting on a school bus, man, and going around the block, and instead of going to school to learn something and then coming home, they just drive around in the dang school bus and then turn around and bring it back to your house and drop you off again. But you didn't do anything, you know. All you did was just get all the ranting and hardships from the narcissist while you were sitting in the bus driving around. But you didn't go anywhere. You didn't get anything done. You didn't accomplish anything. And this is what they do. They get you broke down to a point to where you're miserable because you have no faith anymore. They get you to fight yourself, and that's how you get autoimmune diseases and, you know, things like, you know, your intuition's telling you no, and you're doing it, you're overcompensating for everything for the narcissist, and everything in your gut is telling you no, 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 and you're doing it anyway. And so these are ways that they get you fighting yourself and your immune system. But then also you have the narcissist devaluing you, and anything that you like to do, if you like to go to the gym or you like to do different things, or you have certain qualities, you know, your empathy, your forgiveness, things that they don't have, your laughter, your joy, they're going to make fun of those things, and they're going to devalue those things and get you defunct into stuff that your greatest gifts are. And they're going to get you to, if you're with them long enough, to where you're not, they're going to continue to devalue you until you quit doing those things, because they're going to harp on them. So the things that made them come to you, because those were your gifts that they really, really liked in you, and with them being around you, they would get to receive some of that, and they would get to experience that when you're out and about with others and they're with you in your presence. And you know, you have the ability to be nice to people and genuine, and you can get different people to come around than they can, and they like that. The problem is they also think that they can acquire that, and they can't, because they're not genuine. They are, they can only do evil, and evil all the time. And so, you know, they never can feel love, and without love and joy and happiness, which they can't feel any of three of those, then all they can do is fake it. And that's where they get injured too, is when they realize that they're around you and you're operating this way, and it is alien to them, and they can't even really acquire those traits. You know, they like acquiring your trait acquisition. The problem is this: they're phony. And when you're phony, you can't acquire those types of traits. You can just copy the mannerisms. And that's where, you know, they talk about that cognitive empathy. I hate that because it took me a while before I had to look it up. Cognitive empathy is just them acting, faking it, based on like what they've seen in real life or movies, but they don't feel it down deep. So that's bullshit. You don't want that. But, you know, so that's kind of some of the manipulations that you'll see, but they will get you to be miserable. And then when you're miserable, then what happens is you know, you're getting sick, you're getting diseases or issues, you're fatigued. It kills your motivation. It causes anxiety, depression. You lose faith, and your vision of your future is gone. And it's like you become stuck in life. You're stuck like they are. They brought you down to their level now, and now you start looking disheveled. You're not dressing right. You might be getting fat or skinny, because either one can occur, but you're not healthy is my point. And they're feeding you the wrong things because they're never good. Everything about them is evil, you know. And I'll tell you, they will not even take care of you when you're sick, or if you lose money or you're sick, they're not gonna. They're gone. They're gone because they have to be taken care of, not you. They never take care of you. And this is where this stuff, when you get keen to the fact of the matter is if you were out and you had, had to lean on them, they'll leave you. They'll just ghost you and they'll never come back then. But you can't be with the narcissist because they're always cheating. They don't feel love and they don't feel empathy. They don't feel intimacy. They just, the sex to them is like mechanical. And they get high off just the feeling or the just the feeling, the rubbing. I mean, really, like, it's terrible. But or like looking at you while you're having sex with them, like they get off on that as control, or that they are the best sex partner is what they're telling themselves the whole time, and that kind of stuff. And like they're basically performing. It's performing. Everything for them is performing arts. I mean, really, like it is. And so, they just, this is what they do. And at the end of the day, they're trying to get you to take your individuality from you. They don't ever want you. You can never speak from your heart, your true thoughts around a narcissist. And that's why you'll find that you'll be hiding, some of your true thoughts or things that you want to do sometimes. And it's hard to break out of that when you get older, because that kind of carries along with you, that you're so fearful of somebody, either your new partner, maybe even making fun of something that you like to do, or having the ability to understand that, that, give me a like or subscription, thumbs up, but that you need, you're used to the inability to be open like that in some cases, because you just got ridiculed your whole life. And so, that's something, your communication in that regards is something that you got to deal with when you get older, and you realize this stuff. But they get you out of yourself, and they get you disheveled and bring you down to a child. I mean, if they could get you, back to, an incontinent baby sucking your thumb, they would. And that's really what they try to, that's what they do to you. I mean, if you were there long enough, that's what they would turn you into. But thank God most of us, have realized this early on, or earlier on, or at least to the point that, I don't know, I did 10 years, but with one. But Satan does send them out stronger, or more manipulative, more powerful in their demonic, satanic constructs if you've defeated them. So, give me a like, subscription. Soul Jeb, stand tall. Peace out. Love y'all. Peace.